You're listening to Season 6 of Three Angry Giant Fans and Jet Fan Podcast, brought to you by Rugged Uncle and Carolina Beer Temple. Join us each week as we go over news and notes of the Jets and Giants, give our pet peeves, and basically just gripe about our team's dismal performances as of late. Also go to our website, angryfootballfans.com, and download our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We have a lot of fun doing this. We enjoy all of our fans. Go Jets and go Giants.
The touchdown pass to Humphrey.
Yeah, me and him have been, if you've been following along, me and him have been connecting a lot, during camp and whatnot. And he's been a great contested catcher on go balls. So I liked my matchup one-on-one, and he was able to win over the top and made a great play. A lot of times, those are some of the biggest plays in the games. So, just in those split seconds, being able to get the ball off and you're about to get hit. I think it was TJ Sanders who hit me, and, I've been hit by him a few times in college. So it's kind of funny how it came full circle, and we talked about that after.
I got a small one.
So that was Jackson Dart being interviewed about the TD throw to Little Jordan Humphrey. So I had a little bit of a relationship with him there. In camp, the two of them have clicked. Good throw by Dart. Giants looked like they were at least an NFL team for the first preseason game. So let's chalk up a win for that. Final score really doesn't matter, but we'll get into that. So we are the Three Angry Giant Fans and a Jet Fan. This is your host, Scott, Giant Mike, Cardone, and Angry Jets fan, Novak. And we're coming on a short week. We did a turnaround here. We're pivoting to record on Monday nights now most of the time. So we had a little technical difficulties, didn't post the last pod until later in the week, and now we're back on Monday. So, guys, I feel like we just talked.
This
Today
feels like
is Tuesday.
No, it is.
Is it Tuesday?
No,
Yeah.
This is like the baseball playoffs. We're starting like we're coming back on 3 days rest.
Yeah, we got to get it
Starting
done.
pitcher.
We don't even know
Darren
what day of the week it is.
I am
Darren is on
apparently
thin
rusty.
ice. Darren did not do a good job this week. He was,
No.
I was disappointed in his performance as an intern.
We
Agreed.
need tech help.
We do.
So, guys, first week of the preseason, Giants and Jets both look good. Anything stand out that you wanted to lead off with before we go in depth? Like I said before, biggest thing I had with the Giants, no major injuries, and they looked like a competent team.
Yeah. I think people could have predicted what would have stood out to me in this game before the game was even played. But I thought Dart looked good in every way, shape, and form. I from movement in the pocket to escapability to, I don't know if you guys I was looking at, we just said we didn't do this last week, but I couldn't help myself. I was looking at the breakdown of Dart's play from some quarterbacks and some other people, and they were raving. Like the touchdown pass was a check. I don't know if you guys knew that. That was the safety moved to the middle of the field and she was cheating to the right a little bit. That was a check by Dart on the touchdown pass. He did so many things well. I thought so just watching with the naked eye, truly the naked eye. Scott and I were watching with it. We couldn't hear the announcers, so we were just watching. And I thought it looked really good there. But coming home and watching some of the tape breakdown from people who know much better than me, they just reaffirmed what I thought I saw.
Yeah, man. I was waiting to be like really angry, and I found myself not being that pissed off for, albeit a preseason game. But Scott, you hit the nail on it. You said it. Like they look like a football team, and Dart looked like an NFL quarterback. What more can you ask? I know it's, again, the small sample size, all that stuff. We know we get all that stuff. Which is fine. But he looked – all you're looking for in week one preseason is, does the guy look like a nervous wreck, or does he actually look kind of poised and like he looks like he belongs on an NFL field? And, Dart looked like he actually belonged out there, and that he, looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball. The one time he, a couple tuck and runs, he had that one nice run on a scramble play, which was great. On the other side of the ball, I tell you what, I am jacked up about Abdul Carter. I mean, I know he only played 6 snaps, but this guy looked like a third pick, overall pick. He did. Yeah. I think he's going to be an animal, guys. He's going to be an animal. And he had 3 pressures on 3, dropbacks. And that's what I was excited about, man. I was really excited about Carter's getting off the ball and getting some pressures in the backfield. So we got something there. And again, albeit one preseason game, but I'll take it. Even if you look at the last, just compare it to last 2 seasons or however far back, even in the preseason, we saw nothing but fucking garbage in the first couple in the preseasons the last couple years. So promising start to the preseason, and we'll see what comes back out against Novak's Jets next week.
Yes,
so we'll see.
That's
right.
Snoopy Bowl is coming.
Yes.
So before we get it started with anything else, let's give a shout out.
What did Novak think of the Jets preseason performance there? Are we doing that after the shout out?
No, we could do it now. It's fine.
I'll just do the general
it just seemed
theme.
rude.
How about a general theme, and then I'll go into greater detail later. Look, like you guys, when it comes to preseason, I'm not looking for much, but what I was looking for is what's the attitude of this team, right? What are they going out with? And to steal a Cardone word, they came out with fervor. They really did. They were flying around the field. Aaron Glenn, the best thing that happened in this whole preseason game, we had a couple of false starts and a couple of stupid penalties, and he lit them up, which Salah, that freaking cheerleader, would never have done. And I think he's trying and doing the right thing, changing the culture of this pathetic organization. So I was thrilled with Aaron Glenn. And we can go into, specifics later on. I'm sure Scott will get to it, but as an overall theme, I was looking for the coach, and the coach just delivered, and I am excited about this guy. And I was 100% wrong because I didn't want him. I was wrong. This guy's going to be great. I'm convinced.
Mike, I was just getting into the theme of rivalry week, and I was going to ice, Novak out,
I see. Gosh, this is what happens when we go unscripted. I'm not sure if we've made a mistake or if things are going the way they're supposed to. I don't know.
Well, we are crosstown rivals, right, Cardone? I mean,
cross locker room rivals.
What's our locker room right next down to what's the name in sales? Our door is right there.
Oh, Johnson.
Johnson and Sales.
Johnson from Sales.
The Jets are right next to Johnson and Sales.
So let's give a shout out. We're in green country with this one. So hello, Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. Population 9,200. It's a borough of Philadelphia, and it's along the Schuylkill River, and it is a mill town that was founded in 1820 as Matson's Ford, but they changed their name shortly thereafter. Notable people are pretty slim in this town, but one is Darrell Scott, who used to be a running back for the Giants and has a Super Bowl ring from 2011. If you remember Darrell Scott, he was a preseason hero. He had his very first touch. He went 97 yards for a touchdown. And then later in that preseason, he had a 78-yard touchdown. And then I don't think he compiled a statistic in the regular season.
Any relation to Boston Scott?
Giant killer Boston Scott?
Yeah, that one. Exactly the one I'm referring to.
Famed giant killer.
Guy who acquired 82% of his career stats against one team, us.
They didn't even try to put him in other games. He didn't even play in other games.
Never.
If I'm not mistaken, when you're doing a pole vault or those giant thick mats that are on the ground, like when you're coming off the pole vault or the high jump, I believe those are all made in a plant in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania.
Really?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but I had a previous job where that was one of our products, and I believe they came through Conshohocken, Pennsylvania.
I was gonna say I'm not even 1% sure about that. I've never looked at the mat from a pole vault.
So Conshohocken is the home of Darrell Scott and the pole vault pad. I mean,
where do you buy a pole vault? Where do you buy the pole?
That's a good question.
Seriously. And did that sport not ever scare the crap out of you? Can you imagine going up there and maybe spearing yourself as you get to the top? I was always terrified of that thing.
Yeah.
I always wondered how you practiced.
Yeah. How do you know you're any good at it?
Exactly.
I'm just going to run 100 miles an hour with this pole, stick it in the ground, and see what happens. It's a crazy sport to me.
And is it like a golf driver where it's there's a flex shaft, there's a stiff shaft? There's got to be different flexibilities in the damn thing, right?
Has to be.
I believe there's different shaft tensiles.
Is it like the one like Lamar in Revenge of the Nerds used to throw? Is it like that?
That is a great question. It's not like you can go into Dick's Sporting Goods and go to the pole vault area.
Right,
you know?
right. Where do you get them?
You came looking for a pole vault. You got Frank standing there. Do you know about the stiffness and all? Yeah, I know about the stiffness.
And then you have the trouble of bringing the damn thing home because it's gonna. What's it gonna fit in?
Yeah, you can't put it in a car.
If you don't have a pickup truck, like you gotta you gotta rent
it's
a
like a
U-Haul
pool
just to get it home.
Could it be like a pool stick where it breaks down in like 3 pieces or something like that?
Like I don't know if you'd want that. So would you want that to break down? I feel like that would be unsafe. Like, I don't know. These are all great questions.
It's not like shooting hoops in the driveway. How do you practice this thing? Everywhere you go, you got to bring this pole with you. How the hell do you practice?
It's not like throwing some pads. You throw your pads in the back of the car, your helmet, and you drive off to football practice. How do you... Mom, I'm off to pole vault practice.
Let me get the flatbed. You can tell it's preseason for us too. We spent 5 minutes on the pole vault, which is great. So getting back to vaulting off the beginning of the season, the Giants-Bills game. First team looked good. Cardone mentioned that. Carter was explosive. He's got that spin move where you can just see this disrupting, the quarterback several times a game. And with Scatabo out, Turbo Miller, so Mike and I we're watching, we're trying to figure out who two guys were. They were Turbo Miller and Washington, and both of them making their case to make the team. One's a running back, one's a wide receiver. Dart looked great. He also sailed a few balls, so it's a mixed performance from a rookie. But he's got the poise there. Airmail some of those balls in a crucial spot, though. That's a pick. And the bigger thing for me is just, I think last year in the preseason we scored like 12 to 14 points almost every game. We laid a 30 spot on the team.
Yeah. And I heard some people address those sailors by Dart, and it's concerning, but it's also, he's pretty jacked up probably. And the point, I think it was Baldinger I was listening to break down his play, and he showed some of the sailors, and he's like, the point you guys need to take away from this, though, is all these balls were the right throw. They were all to the right person. He just sailed them. And he said, if we already know the kid can throw the ball accurately, he's going to be fine. He's going to fix that. But if he's already in his first preseason game making correct reads 96% of the snaps, that's the more important thing. And I agree with that. Of course, I agree with that. But I disagree. I think he's going to suck. But.
Well, I don't want to shortchange Russell Wilson either. He looked good in the series he was in. The starters were in, they got out of there, and the game went on. And really all the quarterbacks ended up looking good at the end. I think DeVito threw a touchdown pass. Winston looked pretty good.
Yeah. No, preseason or not, they had drives with long drives. I'm just looking at the first half. There was a 12-play drive. 51 yards. Another drive. All the drives were 31 yards, 80-yard drive, 30. So they were moving the ball consistently. They did a lot when they had the ball. They scored on 7 different possessions. For what it's worth, again, preseason, but it's all we have to go by, right? So, all in all, man. But what I liked, even guys, the small things. I liked even on offense the way they were just getting in and out of the huddle. Like there was tempo and there was purpose, and it looked like they knew what they were doing. And that says a lot for this Giant team that they couldn't get out of their own way for the last, couple seasons at least. We know that. So I look for those little things in the preseason, like how, what's the body language of the team, and that's, and Novak, I think that's maybe what you're talking about with Aaron Glenn, right? We talked about that a little bit already. We don't have a lot to go by in these games because there's you have half starters in, you don't even know if you're playing against starters. So that's what for one preseason game, I'm pretty damn happy with what I saw.
By the way, back to mid-season form. Graham Gano pounding 3 50-yarders.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that mid-season form for him anymore, though? He's in preseason
healthy.
Well, yeah,
just need him to stay healthy.
Some guy hit a
Yeah.
freaking 70-yarder on the
70 yards
Jags.
on the Jags.
70.
Crazy.
70. And it cleared it by about a
Yeah,
yard.
he had
It
like,
wasn't
he could have made a 75er.
yeah.
Absurd. It's absurd.
I'll get to that in a little bit because I have some commentary on that following not what he did, but what the fallout might be.
Oh, that sort of was one of my possible pet peeves.
Oh, okay. You can go with that.
The fallout of that. Yeah. Right.
You guys got anything else about the Giants Bills before we give Novak the stage here?
Well, I'll just say I watched that Giant game. You guys have got a special defensive line. I mean, good God. They might be the best in the league when you think Lawrence and Thibodeau and now Carter and I mean,
Burns.
Burns. I mean, that is formidable, that defense. And your offense looked not great, but it looked certainly serviceable. Like last year, I mean, I think you have to go down as one of the worst offenses in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's from a Jet fan. I mean, it was hard
Yeah.
to watch.
So
And you have some weapons too.
I listened back at last week's pod, and Novak, what he was looking for in the first preseason game was, we already know Justin Fields can run. Can he throw the ball? So of course he ran the first TD into the game. So
Yeah, I didn't put a whole lot of stock into Justin Fields. I honestly really don't care about him. I was more interested in, I think we're going into the season with a couple of weak spots. We have, a weak side linebacker. We have an interior defensive line spot that is, I don't really know who's there. And the guys that shined were those positions, right? This guy, Jamin Davis, who they picked up off a scrap heap from the Commanders, and this guy Tufele from the Bengals. And I remember watching those transactions and thinking not much of it, right? Like, I don't know who the hell these guys are, but they're the ones that shine. So like if they pan out, I think the Jets they're pretty deep. And I loved, I don't love Justin Fields, as we know, but we used a fullback. Like, I haven't seen a Jet fullback in probably 20 years. And this guy was catching 40-yard, passes from Justin Fields. So I was pretty pumped about that. Donovan Edwards, Mike, you know him from Michigan. He had a nice 70-yard run for a touchdown, which got called back, but he looked great as a fourth running back. So, again,
by a hold that had no effect.
No
on
effect
that play,
on the
by the
play.
way. None. Zero.
None.
Yeah.
None. But you know what? I would imagine he doesn't care. The coaches saw what he
Yeah,
can do.
the coaches saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would also say that Braylon Allen's going to be the better running back this year than Breece Hall. I mean, that guy is a beast. So, if we got Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and the other guy, the Isaiah Davis and Fields can run, I don't think we're going to throw a ton. Maybe they can, create some plays where we get some players open in the middle of the field, like a big fullback or a tight end or something like that. Fine. I don't think Garrett Wilson, I wouldn't draft him in fantasy to save my life, because this guy's not going to get any balls to him because Justin Fields can't throw. But like at the end of the day, I was just thrilled with Aaron Glenn. I'm so pumped for this guy just because he's a Jet that saw the worst of the Jets and the best of the Jets, and he is a Jet, which we don't often have. So I couldn't be more excited about him.
I'll tell you one thing that does make a difference on a team, and the Giants had this to a certain extent last year, but certainly not like it was with the Thunder Lightning days, but having a deep backfield, because you can rotate those guys in and out. You can use them situationally.
I mean, that's today's NFL, right? I mean, there's no like bell cow back, as they say. I mean, there is in a couple of teams, but when you can throw 2 and 3 and 4 guys out there, keep fresh legs, I mean, that's got to be the way to go at this point.
Yeah, the single back workhorse days are for the most part.
That's kind of done. Yes.
You got a Derrick Henry running around out there still, but those are long gone. But Scott, if I may, I do want to bring up, because we wouldn't be true to ourselves if we weren't angry about something, right? So there were a couple plays I did have in mind here as we're glazing over the Giants' victory. But two things: one, that kicking the ball off after kicking a field goal with 29 seconds left to go in the half, you're thinking like, well, nothing's going to happen here, right? Nope. Trubisky with a 58-yard pass to some guy Shavers, where the Bills have to get that token field goal. We know our just history in giving up points inside of 2 minutes of the first half. It's unrelenting. So I was just laughing about that one. And then later in the third quarter, second half, They, we got them. Bills had a 4th and 4 on our 39, and someone gets behind the defense. I forget who it was. Who Davis? No, not Hamler. Gets behind the defense for a 40-yard touchdown on a 4th and 4. It's like, again, these are second stringers and all that. But I'm just laughing at 4th and 4. You must give up a touchdown there. It's just that stuff still. I want to clean that up, especially the points inside the 2 minutes of the first half. This 2 minutes, this was 29 seconds, and we're still managing to get points.
That play, Scott and I just got a kick out of at Mulligan's because the guy essentially bites on an in and up, and it's like, why do you care about the in?
Yeah,
there's 29 seconds left in the game. Let him run the in. Why do you even get? I'm like,
exactly.
Fundamentals,
Mike. Again,
coaches won't
it's
like
fundamentals.
That. Yeah.
Mike also talked.
Double move.
Mike talked me down too because I got a little irate over a couple of calls. There was one roughing the passer call, and I thought to myself, "What is this shit again?"
Forgot about that one.
And then there was another call later on. Mike's like, back in the Parcells day, Parcells used to go to the ref and say, "Hey, be a little hard on my guys." So maybe that's going on behind the scenes. I don't know. So.
I was going to mention that today, Scott. I guess now's as good a time as any when we overreact to the preseason, and I don't just mean overreacting to the calls. I'm talking about in general. Is you have no idea. I mean, these are just Parcells stories that I know of, but this was pervasive around the league, and it probably still is. Parcells intentionally lost a preseason game in '86 to teach his team a lesson. There's been other times, and I don't really remember if this was Parcells or Coughlin, but that he was concerned about holding. It was like the last preseason game, and they went and told the officials, "Hey, if you see anything as much as looks like a hold, I want you to call it. I want these guys to be So things like that happen. I'm sure they happen for other teams. I'm sure they happen around the league. It's kind of what we talked about last week before when we were talking about the Jets and Fields, and it's like, if I'm the coach of the Jets, I don't even call one play where Fields is running because who cares? And that's different than the way you would play a regular season game. It's completely different. And even the touchdown Fields scored, that was not a called run. No. I don't believe at that time. So, it's just everything is different. You don't know what the coaches have told the players. You don't know if the coaches are even trying to win. You don't even know what they're trying to see. If they're trying to put something for the week 1 team on tape, that's a phony everything. It's impossible. People should not get worked up or down about the preseason. You have no idea what's happening. I will mention, because I watched the Jets game, that when Fields broke contain and started running toward the edge, Cardone, we got there he goes!
There he goes!
And you're so right, because if this is a regular season game, you don't think they're planning for Justin Fields to do that. They're not going to have someone spying this guy. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole field was wide open because they're just playing a vanilla defense, and the play broke down. And if you really watch the play, he had someone wide open, like 5 yards away, that he could have thrown to, but nope, there he goes.
Yeah, they probably, and to put it on the other side too, or Novak, the Jets probably wouldn't have called a deep drop pass play in that situation in the regular season.
No.
So none of it means a damn thing. People need to calm down.
Did you guys see anything around the league and the preseason games this week? The funniest thing to me, I don't know if you saw the clip, and it wasn't a play, but it was CeeDee Lamb on the sideline, sort of like motioning to the crowd like this, and the ref comes and barrels right into him and knocks him over.
Didn't see that. No,
I thought that was.
I was too googly-eyed over future Hall of Famer Sanders, Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that too. I had to see, and I
watched it too.
Again, I was just checking the box score and a couple highlights on what Sanders did, and the glazing was just.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
it was intense. I can't say anything because I just glazed a perfectly mediocre performance by our rookie quarterback.
That's
but
true.
It was crazy. It was crazy. The talk about Sanders, which you knew was coming, even if he had a moderately decent game.
And the Giants were brought up too because of that.
Yeah.
Right, because they were like, are they going to regret not drafting Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round? I mean, they could have had, come on. You can't you can't compare someone drafted in the 5th round to someone they drafted in the first. I am sorry.
Yeah.
You just cannot. Now
There should be no talk about that period because
None.
the Browns even picked a quarterback before
exactly.
Sanders.
They did. Right.
Now, I will say if Penix, McCarthy, and Nix look great this year, then yeah, honestly, you can say the Giants passed on all 3 of them a year ago. That you can do, but you can't do it on a guy taken in the 5th round. That's ridiculous. That's like saying all those guys that were drafted ahead of Brady and they try to make these comparisons. No one knew Brady was going to be what he was. Stop it.
Yeah, it's just funny that someone gets picked in the 5th round, and you go back to the 1st and pick out one team that passed on him.
Exactly.
When every team passed on him 4 times.
Yeah. 136 times that he was passed up or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
The only other game I wanted to keep my eye on, one particular player, was Daniel Jones. I wanted to see his performance, and I didn't see the highlights, guys. Actually, I just saw his, the box score and a very pedestrian, 10 for 21. He had a decent amount of yards, but I don't know how he looked. I didn't see the highlights. I don't know if you guys did at all, but
he had one throw that people were raving about where he threw across his body to hit a tight end going down the field, and other than that, he got to step up on Anthony Richardson only because I think Richardson got hurt in that game again. Guy can't stay healthy, so I still think the Colts are one of those teams. I mean, geez, they're going to be struggling to do well this year, no matter who the quarterback is, and people who are listening who might be going to our live show might want to at least memorize 5 Colt players because that might be a question I ask.
That's a good idea. Give our regular listeners a little heads up. Give our regulars a little heads up on the trivia. I like it.
Did you guys see the one player that got cut based on his preseason performance, who was a former Jet and Giant quarterback?
No.
Touchdown, Timmy Boyle.
Tim Boyle got cut because of his performance?
He was so bad. He had a 0.6 passer rating that they cut him the next day. And
the old 0.6.
So he and Nathan Peterman finally might be out of the league.
I was going to say, Nathan Peterman's like, hold my beer here, big guy.
Yeah, right?
So going back to Jones for a minute, I watched some highlights on that, and they showed like 3 or 4 of his passes. And the thing that struck me about him is they weren't even balls he'd have thrown as a Giant. So whoever's coaching him up is doing a good job because, by the end of his Giants tenure, we know, remember the flea flicker guys? We had a guy running wide open, just screaming for the ball, and he refused to throw. He was throwing balls to covered receivers for the Colts and throwing darts, man, just throwing darts. And so, that's kind of like what he was like when he first came into the league. And so hopefully, they were able to suck the Giants out of him and let him just go back to having fun.
I think Jones made a bad career decision. I think he should have gone to a good team and been the backup and then played this, long game of, going to a team after that to be the starter and making a lot more money. I think going to the Colts, a bad team, you're competing with Anthony Richardson. I think it's a silly move. I think he should have stuck with the 49ers or the Vikings or one of these teams and then gone somewhere else like Darnold, Geno Smith, and all these other guys.
Yeah.
Darnold left Minnesota. I'm surprised Jones didn't stick there and just be the backup to JJ.
That's what I'm saying. He should have. Yeah. He should have done that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So if we were on a different platform, I'd put some pensive music in here right now because we're doing the lead up to the Snoopy Bowl game, the Jets and the Giants.
Bring it.
The one that, I think if we lose this game, I can't even function until next Friday, maybe.
No, it's huge. Just huge.
So,
bragging rights.
Bragging rights. Like oh my God. So the Snoopy Bowl was, when I was growing up, my uncle was a huge Giant fan. He had season tickets to the Giants, and he would bring me every year to the Snoopy Bowl, which was not the Snoopy Bowl back then. And I had very strict rules when I went to this game with him. You will not root for the Jets, and you will not wear any Jet paraphernalia. I was not allowed. I was not allowed to root, and I said, just keep down, keep quiet. You can say something after the game. And in a preseason game, this game means nothing these days.
No.
Bragging
I have a
Cardone,
theory about
favorite.
this game coming into this game, though. I have a theory about this. has to do with Glenn. He's an ex-Jet. He knows. He's been in that locker room. He knows that the Giants own the building, own the town. He knows this. And you know, step one has got to be for him. First, we got to own our house. If we're going to be a good NFL team, we've got to own our building. We've got to own our city. I think he's going to try to lay one on the Giants right here.
I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah.
I do.
I do.
I do too.
He's trying to change culture, which I do like.
Yep. Oh,
You know,
absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
I mean,
no doubt.
I'm not going to get into predictions for the year, but all I want for this team is to not be a laughingstock. I don't care if you win 7 games. Just don't be a joke. The butt fumble joke for the whole world again. And I think he's trying to change culture. I agree with you. He's going to go in and try to win this game and, put a beat down on whoever the quarterback is. Guaranteed.
Yep.
Novak, I'm going to tell you this right now. I saw a line this week where the Jets over-under was 4.5 wins. I put a ton of money on the over.
I would put it on the over too at 4.5.
4.5 wins?
4.5.
Are you shitting me?
Wow.
4.5 wins? And you play the Patriots and Dolphins twice?
The Jets and the Giants, I think, were 4.5 and 5.5.
Yeah.
And the only team below us was the Browns.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Super Bowl
clearly
odds.
the Browns are going to win 10 games.
Meanwhile,
now.
the Cowboys are like 9.5, and so are the Broncos. And I'm thinking to myself, those two teams, that's a tough hole for either of them.
Oh, boys.
Do we have any bets for the Snoopy Bowl? I mean, what are we doing? Are we doing any kind of wager or what's happening?
You want to?
I had not even thought about that. Are we going to
I
lock
didn't
something in online here?
Got to figure something out.
I know we do.
Did we do anything last year?
Well, when they played in the regular season, I made you guys wear jet
Wear
gear
the hats.
for the pod. You had to wear a green and a jet hat, if you remember.
I do remember.
I still have my Altoon jersey from that.
See, I had that
That's right,
hat
you
for
do.
a long time. I think I finally gave it back to you last
You
year.
did.
But
How could we forget? That was the game where we had a 99.9998% chance of winning.
So you guys were all bro hugging, and I was such a dejected loser by myself.
by the way,
I ended up winning.
my uncle gave this to me. He found it.
Yes.
It's a signed portrait of Frank Gifford. So
Yeah.
GIF.
it's an old one. I got to figure out how to properly display that. My paraphernalia just keeps growing back here of giant stuff.
Look at it.
And a megalithon shark tooth from my friend JP.
Yep. I just, I was Googling this Snoopy Bowl, guys, and there's nothing on here that's it. It's just Snoopy Bowl's your annual preseason game between your Jets, Giants, named after the former MetLife Stadium mascot, Snoopy. There's nothing there's nothing cool about the game. There's nothing.
I never understood the whole Snoopy Bowl thing, and then they had that trophy for a while with Snoopy on it, and it's like, really? Are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Well, Snoopy's the MetLife mascot, right? Is that how
Correct.
that came about?
That's-
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the MetLife mascot, so that's where, Snoopy came.
So when it was back at Giant Stadium, I
Yeah.
mean, it didn't have a name, right? I mean, it was just Jets Giants
No.
preseason game. I always remember it being the last preseason game of the year.
It was.
wasn't it?
That's why I was surprised it's this week. I almost came
Yeah.
on tonight saying we were playing the Patriots. Luckily, I looked at the schedule because I realized, no, we're playing you guys this week. It used to be the last game of the year. And always the one that worried me because the Giants always came out of that game with an injury.
Oh,
Same with the
major
Jets.
injury in that game.
Yeah.
The thing I loved about that game, because back in the day, we talked about this last week. Back in the day, that game was the game where starters barely played at all in the fourth preseason game. But they got to get eyes on it. So they'd come back, they'd come on the air and go, make no mistake, these two teams don't like each other, and they're going to be playing their hearts out tonight. Everyone's like, just nobody's even playing in the game. I just love that.
No.
No,
Yeah.
they don't care.
Although one of my favorite lines was a couple years ago and I hate the dick, but that guy in the Giants tackled him and he goes, "Who are you? I don't even know who you are."
I remember that.
It was so great. The dick was the only good thing the dick did was that comment.
That was good.
So besides this game, you guys looking forward to any other games in the preseason? I mean, the Titans Falcons. We're not going to have a discussion about that.
Oh my God, Titans.
I got to find my notes.
Preseason.
I got to find my notes on that. Hang on, I've got it here.
Well, put it this way: you have the Titans Falcons, and then you have the Panthers Texans, which is only notable because it's Bryce Young versus Stroud. There's no other reason to get excited about that game. And then you got the Jaguars Saints.
The Jags don't play the Titans.
No, they save that for the regular season when they meet them 45 times.
The same game every week, that division. I swear to God.
The only question is where that game's going to be played.
The Browns game is the only one I'm interested in. I'm very interested in the continued acceleration of Shedeur Sanders'
Mike,
career.
You are all in on this.
I'm glad I have a couple pet peeves because that was trampling all over mine. But
that why you didn't bring it up?
No. I'm just saying. Yeah. I didn't bring it up originally, no, because of that. But mine's a little bit more specific.
Fair.
So for those that don't know, didn't hear us last week, we are doing a live show to kick off the season. It's going to be at Carolina Beer Temple, September 2nd, 7 to 8:30 at night. Trivia night. We're going to have a lot of trivia questions. I sort of gave away one of mine, possibly. We're going to have some swag. There's a cold beer there. There's going to be a lot of fun. So, guys, join us if you're in the Charlotte area. If you're not in the Charlotte area, hell, make a trip. I got room in my house.
I was going to say, y'all stay at my place. Let's say.
Yep. The swag has been ordered. It's all, beer related. So that's exciting. We will be ready and prepared with a lot of trivia questions. We've got a whole prep day coming up. I can't wait. I'm ready for this live pod. Let's make it happen.
It's just the degree of difficulty, I think, of the questions is what we need to kind of discuss and ponder over. Yeah.
I think what we'll say is that there will be trivia questions for all levels of knowledge. Put it that way. Not all of it will be name 5 players from the Colts because I couldn't do that, and I know a lot about this league.
Yeah. I would consider that to be a high difficulty question.
I was trying to find a team. I think the Colts are a good one. I'm thinking of some other ones, but the Colts stand out. Actually, that whole division's pretty good. The Titans.
The Titans, there's no way.
How about if you win? Okay, trick question. How many times do the Colts play the Jaguars this year? People would be like, what, 7, 6? How many times? No, believe it or not, it's just 2. It's just 2. That's impossible.
So I'll start with Novak tonight. Pet peeves.
All right. Well, I've got 2 quick ones. My first one is going to be, if you guys watch the Jet game or any game on the NFL Network, you couldn't help but notice scrolling along the bottom was the top 100 players in the NFL. And I just kept getting more pissed off the more they kept showing this. First of all, who's this? Sorry, Cardone. This chop that is deciding who these top 100 players are.
Exactly.
And how can you compare a defensive tackle to a cornerback or a weak side linebacker to a interior offensive lineman? How can you rank player? Like, if you want to do the top 25 quarterbacks, fine, I get it. Like, that's debatable. You can't debate. It's like apples and oranges, and I hated this whole thing. I was annoyed about the whole time. So that was my first one. I don't know if did you guys see that?
Every year that
wasn't his name like Cockcroft or something. This guy.
Every year it triggers me because it's a bullshit list, but yet every year I go, why? How the hell is this possible? I remember Saquon Barkley a couple of years ago was like number 92. How is he the 92nd best player? Even this year, I think Cooper DeJean from the Eagles is higher than Malik Neighbors. Are you shitting me? Right. Malik Neighbors is a top 5 wide receiver, and you got Cooper DeJean is higher than him?
There was Justin Herbert was like 62, and then 2 players later was like, and 59 was like a center for the Titans or something. I'm like, come on. If you're starting a team,
those 2 people against each other.
No.
Yeah.
So that was my first one. My second one is going to go to someone that I just have hated for 25 years, and I just want him to just go away. Just go get out of my life, and that's Tom Brady. He got this stupid ass statue outside of, and this guy has he's zero humor. Like, I can't stand him as it is. And you got to make fun of the Jets. Just an easy thing to say. Like, have some creativity. What he said, It's not just for Patriots fans. When Jets fans come out in the second quarter, they'll throw beers at it. Oh, shut up. Go away. Like, have something more creative. Pick on somebody else. Yes, you've owned the Jets. Just stop it. Just get the Jets out of your mouth. Like, just go away. I can't stand this asshole.
I actually loved some of the memes that showed the statue of Brady with a bigger statue of Eli in the background.
I did too. I loved that.
What current Patriot team is going to be blowing the Jets out in the second quarter and have their fans leaving and throwing beers at Tom Brady, who's not even playing?
By the way, Patriots, another great team to try and figure out 5 people on there.
I'll tell you this. I'll give the Patriots. I'll give the Patriots some credit. I'll give the Patriots some credit on this. At least the statue they have is an actual living person.
That's true.
That's true.
Instead of Philly.
That's true.
and it looks like him, unlike Dwayne Wade or whoever that one statue was.
Yeah.
I tell you, if Scott is planning to trot out these questions on, name 5 Patriots, and name 5 Colts, we better rent a flatbed, because we're gonna be bringing home a bunch of swag, and we'll have to put it next to our pole vault in the back of our in our truck, because we're not gonna be able to give away any of these answers. We're not gonna be able to give away anything with correct answers. I'll tell you that.
No, and on top of it, if someone's listening to this podcast, someone's gonna be like, "Hey, smartass, why don't you tell me 5 players on the Colts?"
Oh, I'm gonna brush up on that before I.
Well, I was about to say, you better be ready to do that.
I got a better chance of naming 3 people who have never been in Cliff Clavin's kitchen.
We're gonna actually see what kind of streak Cardone can have of the Cliff Clavin one, because that's two pods in a row now.
It is.
Yeah, we'll
It's
keep
just,
that one
hey,
going.
it's preseason, man. I'm reaching.
I love it though. That's still one of the best episodes ever. It's like, unless you bet everything.
Yeah, unless you've done something incredibly foolish here, you're going to be our next Jeopardy champion.
Man.
Was that your only one, Novak?
I had 2.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have
you
2.
did the second one.
Man.
All right. Well, I'll go next since I'm making the gaff here. So, guys, we can't put the genie in the bottle back on journalism, because it's sports journalism now, and we rail about this all the time. It is so shitty that these guys aren't journalists anymore. Mike touched upon this. I mean, we looked at there's a journalist out there. I use the term loosely, Josina Anderson, just gushing about Shedeur Sanders' performance, and she was one of the people. Her and Ryan Dunleavy, who's a beat writer apparently. They both threw the Giants under the bus about Sanders' performance, saying, I think Dunleavy said, "Dart, your turn," or "Giants, your turn." Josina Anderson is like, "Giants, get a load of this. See what you're missed out on."
Hide your eyes, Giants fans.
Hide your eyes.
That's what they said.
Yeah, again, fuck both of you. I mean,
Wow.
You're talking about a guy we talked about that went through 5 different times before he was passed over with every other team, including his own. And we're talking about him on one preseason game. Guys, there's a Nike ad with him saying the future is now. After one preseason game with the Nike logo on it.
5th round draft pick.
5th round draft pick because he had a decent game. Now, I'm not going to say he had a bad game. It was a good game. He threw two touchdown passes. Dart played almost equally as well from a stat standpoint. You don't see people leading off Monday talking about Dart. We're talking about him, but you don't hear the national media talking about him. And guys, it's just one of those things where, is this going to go on every time? Every time we look over on the Browns bench, week 1 through 16, and we see this guy stand there and be like, "Oh, it's time to bring in Sanders."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that.
Oh my God, yes, that's going to happen.
I don't know who the quarterback's going to be there, but this is getting ridiculous. And this highlights to me just how shitty and how bad sports journalism is. And of course, the journalism is in quotes.
Yes. Listen, we might not be far away from like a Sanders camp, like cut-in cam in other games. of him on the sideline, sort of like with Aaron Judge when he's ready to break the home run record. But like we do a live cut in with Judge's at bats. There could be someone's going to come up with the idea to have a Shedeur Sanders like Cam on the sidelines, and we just have a cut in. Oh, wait a minute, the Browns are coming back on a possession. Is he taking the field? Is he? No, he's not. He's not. Okay, go back to your regularly scheduled program. He didn't take the field. We'll cut back in. It's like right, and then like Judge just grounded out into a double play, 6-4-3. So we'll pick it back up when Judge comes up in the 7th inning. We'll pick up the Sanders Cam back when the Browns have the ball back.
Yep.
I mean,
nuts.
This whole feedback and this whole thing about him is exactly why no one wanted him.
Yeah.
Because who wants this? He's a third string quarterback and everyone's talking about him. No one wants to deal with this headache. And if I remember correctly, the reason the Giants didn't take him, he was unprepared for his meeting with Daboll.
That's right.
Is that not correct? Is that not what we all heard?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yep.
So how can you blame an organization for not taking someone who wasn't prepared for an interview? Sorry. Like, knock it off.
Did you see him walk into the arena too with like his entourage? He had like 12 people with him for a preseason game. Like do these guys do they get to the locker room and there's like guys are going, no, I'm sorry, you can't come in. This is just for photo's sake.
The one hope, right? The one hope was that this whole experience humbled him, and he was gonna turn it around. He's gonna go into camp. He's gonna be prepared. He's gonna, knock off the thug shit. Immediately walking into the stadium, it's the first time the camera hit him, you knew he hasn't learned a goddamn thing.
Nope.
You knew it immediately just by the way he walked in. It's, here's the other thing that people don't, there's never any context. And I've talked about this before. So Sanders' first touchdown pass was on a 9-yard drive. The Browns returned a fumble to the 9-yard line.
9.
And they intentionally, very, very obviously wanted Sanders to have a touchdown pass on that drive because it was also on 4th down, and they threw the ball on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. They were just going to give him as many opportunities as possible to throw a touchdown pass there. I don't know what else to say about things like that. It's the stories. People have 2 stories on their desk, and it depends on whether they like a guy like Sanders or not. And one of the stories is, if he doesn't embarrass himself, I'm going to run this story glazing him. And the other one is, if he does embarrass himself, I'm going to write this story that excuses it. Mm-hmm. And it's done. It's like they don't even have to play the game. The guy is probably sitting there with his email open, with both of those emails open. And as soon as Sanders threw one touchdown pass, he probably sent click on the other one and said, "There's my story for the game." That's that.
True. Mike, you're right. You remember the old days? There used to be like the whole row there of where the journalists were with their typewriters, and and then it became the
game,
computers.
Smoking,
And then it became the computer, and those guys would write about the game and then send it off. Nowadays, I think they've written those articles before the game's even played, and they just send which one they want off.
Yeah, with AI, why couldn't you?
Yeah,
you could just type in, give me an article for these 20 different outcomes, and give it ready to roll.
Yeah.
So my second pet peeve is very tangential to the one I just had, and it's where they build up certain people. So like Mike just said, like the story that has been told, they have one ready to go, and I'll tell about one here that I heard that I laughed about. So Ben Johnson, guy's never coached a down in his life, and he's being called this offensive mastermind, this great coach, all of these superlatives. Well, they get on Monday morning after the games are done, and they go, "Look, guys, Ben Johnson, he said to his team, preseason doesn't count, but it matters. This is the kind of thing a leader does." And I thought to myself, well, if preseason matters, then why did Williams sit the first game? Right. So you build up this guy with these superlatives and talk that any coach can give in the preseason, and I don't mind that. I'm fine with people saying stuff, but when you call out a specific coach and talk about his greatness based on a speech he gave in the preseason, saying to his team, preseason doesn't count, but it matters. and then you sit your best player or your supposed best player. What message does that really give? And why are we glazing over this, as Mike would say?
True.
Wait a minute. I just started saying that because all you guys were saying it. How did that get put on me?
Well, I just heard you say it a couple times tonight.
All
so
right.
say,
Yeah. All right. I'll take it.
But really, I mean, first off, what the fuck has Ben Johnson done in the NFL? For all we know, he's another just coordinator that became a head coach. Those guys have had
Ben
mixed
Johnson.
records.
Ben Johnson was an offensive coordinator who happened to have the great fortune to be the offensive coordinator for an amazingly talented offense and a head coach who let him go for it on fourth down. And that way, and then the media started glazing him. That's the Ben Johnson story.
And
if he had been the coach of the Giants or the Jets or the offensive coordinator, he would be nobody right now.
Who was the last person in this position? Do you remember? He was God's gift to offensive football. Mike McDaniel. How are they doing right now?
I was going to say Josh McDaniel. Say McDaniel, but it's like...
No, I mean Mike McDaniel. Remember 2 years ago? It was like this like, incredible nerdy mastermind of offense. And, you know, this guy can't coach his way out of a wet paper bag. I mean, they suck. So let's let this guy win 5 games before we anoint him as the next great mastermind. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. In my mind, if Dan Campbell had been a more conservative coach and punted and kicked field goals, we might not even know who Ben Johnson is right now.
No, I mean, totally. And don't forget, I mean, you know, I just watched it the other day. I saw a replay of it. In that NFC Championship, his big play call was Jamison Williams throwing a interception when they were down by like 2 scores, and the game was over after that. What a terrible play call. So, yeah, I agree with you on this guy. Like, win something first.
I can't wait till week 1, the first time we see it may happen opening night, you know, with the first time we see a team going for it on fourth down when they shouldn't, or what the analytics say and all that bullshit. I can't wait to be pissed off again. I really can with that.
I'm so excited about it.
I can't wait for you to be pissed off about it. I can't wait for you to be angry about it. It's going to be great.
All of our pet peeves come out of the ground like zombies. Going for it on fourth down. Not kicking field goals. Here they come.
You're gonna love this. Last week I saw a show about basically the advanced stats that we all see. You know, next gen stats, and really all the next gen stats were a bunch of guys getting together saying, "What do you think NFL fans would like to see as extra color to the game?" They have curated these next gen stats as being, okay, let's show the guys how fast the guy's running or what this would have done or how many yards he would have gotten. Guys, we've been railing on next gen stats for the last, I don't know how many years. And it turns out it's all BS. They're not next gen stats. It's just guys, it's stat geeks getting together saying, what do we think fans would like to see?
Totally.
It's incredible.
As a person who works with statistics and numbers and things like that, they're offensive to me. They're absolutely offensive to me when you see a receiver high point a ball with both hands extended, both feet off the floor and off the ground, and a defender sort of in his chest, and it says catch percentage. 16.85. Fuck off with that. Absolutely fuck off with that. That offends me. That angers me.
They certainly didn't ask these 4 fans what we want to see. I'll tell you that. Did I get one of the, it's probably in my junk mail, in my mailbox. Like I had to fill out some form, like some proxy form that I just immediately fire into the garbage. Holy shit, that was the thing that was the NFL, the next gen stat thing I didn't fill out? Shit.
That's ridiculous. Mike, pet peeves?
Yeah, I came up with one while we were talking here. Yeah, Scott and I were watching the Bills and Giants together, and one thing that happened that we actually laughed about, and then I kind of thought about it later and started getting angry about it, was at one point, I think it was the Bills who got in the red zone, and the announcers were like, "Well, here the Bills are in the University of Wyoming red zone." Right? So
that's right.
So Scott and I are like, "Oh, Josh Allen, okay, must have sponsored."
The guy at the bar goes, "University of Wyoming red zone." I said, "Well, I think Josh Allen went to Wyoming."
He did.
Yeah. So But it got me thinking, like, this happens not just in football anymore, but you don't see it much on the national broadcast, right? It's the local broadcast. So you see it much more in preseason. So it's kind of a specific preseason pet peeve. But, just watching other games around the league, they're like, oh, it's a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser 2-minute warning. These things are so out of place and just so like crazy. The universe or the Concocted Mat Company kickoff, sponsored by the Concocted Mat Company. Go your finest pole vault mats made in America. It's concocted. It's like listening to an old radio broadcast. So it's just. I just found it humorous. And the University of Wyoming Red Zone was what kicked it off.
They sponsored that? Or they called it because of Josh Allen?
I have no idea.
I think
it came up. It said the University of Wyoming Red Zone. And it was funny because as I was saying to Mike, what the hell is this? There's a guy next to us going, University of Wyoming Red Zone. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Please don't tell me we're getting into this now.
No, I don't think on national broadcasts. I think we're quite a ways away from that yet. These are the local. These are the local broadcasts, where like every commercial's, like, oh, Mr. Putty's Fun Park, the official fun park of the New York Giants. It's all so everything's the official something of the team on those local broadcasts.
Well, that would be a thing to know too.
Doug's Ice Cream, the official ice cream cone of the New York Jets.
Well, I mean, can we get in on this? Can we have the three angry Giants fan and a Jets fan kicking tea or something?
Was that broadcast from Buffalo? Because the NFL Network always picks one of the local teams and does the broadcast. It was the Buffalo broadcast. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah.
So I'm sure University of Wyoming, because Josh Allen is on the team, they wanted to sponsor something. So like, okay, you could be the University of Wyoming Red Zone.
And if you go to the restroom at halftime, the urinal pucks are sponsored by the Three Angry Giant fans.
Yeah.
Can we get urinal puck sponsorship?
Can we get swag with our face on a urinal puck?
Yeah. Those local broadcasts, man. Everything is sponsored. Here's the Bluebell Ice Cream overtime rules presented to you by Bluebell Ice Cream.
Overtime rules. which
Donovan McNabb needs a refresher on. But
one of our first ever pet peeves: overtime rules.
Or say that in the safety. No, it's the safety rules too, right? Yeah,
safety
the safety
rules.
Yeah.
What's funny is both of them are still applicable today. Whenever there's a safety or whenever overtime occurs, they have the overlay, the graphic overlay, safety rules, overtime rules.
Yep.
I tell you what I want to see are fucking kickoff rules, because I don't know anything about the kickoff rules anymore in this league.
They do
Give me
that. Put those up.
They keep shading areas in, and I have no idea what that means.
Well, you do know they changed it this year. If you have a touchback, you go to the 35.
35.
Oh.
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
So I had no idea.
Last year the 30 or the 25?
25. Or maybe the 30, I don't know, but they moved it up.
They will not leave that play alone.
This
league. They cannot figure it out. They're changing it every year. They can't figure it out. They don't know what they want to do with it.
But my question is, if you're going to do that and you're going to put it out to the 35, why not just go back to the original kickoff? Because no one's going to kick it in the end zone.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand. And don't give me this player safety bullshit, because that's not true. They did it because no one was making any returns. But if you're going to put it at the 35, guess what? You're going to get returns now.
I was just going to say that, though, Novak. I was seeing something last week, and they were talking to one of the guys at the NFL, and he's like, look, last year we had more returns than we've ever had, and we've had less injuries on kickoffs than we've ever had. And it's like, are you shitting me here?
No, that's impossible. That's a lot. Again, as a person who works with statistics and numbers, that offends me. There is no way, if you get more yards and more returns and more tackles happening, that there's less injuries. You are gaslighting us. Stop it. Oh my God.
Cardone, did I ask for your pet peeve yet?
No, I have a short one, and it's a brief one. I'm telling you, it'll be brief. I'm glad we're talking about statistics, because that leads right into my pet peeve. And I'm a stat guy. You guys know that. I love historical career stats, all those things. And for some reason, they only do this in the NFL, where, and I'll just take Jackson Dart, right? Because I heard over and over, I was watching the highlights, and I was thrilled that he made a nice touchdown pass, but albeit they said, and Jackson Dart throws his first NFL career touchdown pass. And I'm like, no, he didn't. It's the preseason. It didn't count. Because guess what? I'm looking at Pro Football Reference right now in front of me, and on Jackson Dart's page is his fucking combine score and what he did in the 40 and the bench press. There's nothing about a touchdown against the Bills because it happened in a preseason game. So he didn't throw his first touchdown pass, a career touchdown in the NFL because the game doesn't count. No other sport do we do this. Spring training in baseball, hockey, basketball, all these sports have preseasons. Why in the NFL do we have to glaze over a guy? There's the word glaze again, Mike. Over a guy scoring his first touchdown when it didn't count.
No.
Wait till the season starts and he actually throws his first touchdown career pass. Then we can celebrate it. Hey, I'm happy he threw one in the game, of course, but let's not pretend that this is actually going onto his career stats. I don't know. It's a stupid one. It's just a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand when they throw that line out there and that stat. It just drives me crazy. So I heard it over and over with Dart.
Shedeur doesn't have 2 career touchdown passes now?
Not according to Pro Football Reference, which is like the Bible. And
by the way,
Bible.
This could have been a pet peeve of mine. Pro Football Reference, by the way, now is locking down some of their content where you have to be a premium member to see advanced stuff.
Take my money. Take it. I can't.
I use it as it's a Bible for me. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Love that. I love this website. It's amazing.
Yep. Don't make me go back out and buy the Sports Almanac every year because I will do it.
All right, Biff.
I'll tell you, Cardone, I know you think that was a dumb one, but that was a really, really good pet peeve.
Agreed.
That really was. I mean, that they're so anxious to be calling the first to say something is.
Yes.
They just are like, I don't care. I know better. I know it's a preseason, but I don't care. I got to do it.
Let's wait till the regular season. He didn't. No one's done anything. These stats, just like the wins, it doesn't count. We've been talking about it the whole night. It doesn't count. Yeah. So
I'll tell you what we keep seeing. We keep hearing people use the word historic. And when I hear historic, I think it's the first time this has ever happened. But no, now they talk about historic as being this is something that just hasn't happened in a long time. That's not historic. It's rare. It's something that's happened before. I don't get it. You hear it a lot with weather now. Like we heard it with the recent hot weather we had in Charlotte before this recent rain, which is now cold. But it was like, we haven't hit 100. This is historic weather. We haven't hit 100 since 1943. And it's like, well, nope, that's not historic. It happened in 1943.
It's actually average. Yeah. Speaking of average.
You got to like statistics, guys.
You got to understand them. You can't just look at them and run off with those numbers. You got to put a little thought into them. You just have to. It's just silly.
So we got a Peacock Corner this week. We got 3 questions from him. And the first is, who will draft first overall in the 2026 draft? And if I'm putting my money on it, we talked about the Colts. Colts could be a possibility. But I'm going to go with someone else in that division. I'm going to go with the Titans.
With their brand new quarterback.
Brand new quarterback.
Pick number 1 again.
Who, by the way, you've heard nothing about. You've heard about Shedeur Sanders. You've heard about Jackson Dart. I've heard nothing about Cam Ward.
So they'll presumably trade that pick to someone going after Arch?
I think the first pick is going to be the New Orleans Saints, and it's going to be all about Arch Manning playing for his grandfather's Saints. So that's my prediction right there, because it's going to be the whole offseason of him going back to New Orleans and blah, blah, blah. Ugh.
You can still see it. It's gross.
Yeah,
You're so right. Fuck off.
Damn it, Novak. You just took mine. I was just going to say, no one talks about this franchise. I don't know who their quarterback is. Their quarterback. Yeah, you look at the Saints' depth chart and quarterback right now. It's gross.
Is Alvin Kamara still there?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
with him still there, I can't see a team with him being that
come
putrid.
on. He's the Sean Alexander of this year.
Oh, God, don't mention his name, Novak. Do not mention Sean Alexander's name. Damn you. It's worse than Algie Crumpler. Oh,
So we got a Titans and 2 Saints. I'll take the Browns for that sake.
That sounds
what
about
would
right.
What would they do?
That's why I want it to happen. I have no
I
idea
want it
what
to
they
happen
do.
too.
That would be
cut
interesting.
bait.
Who do they take?
Cut bait and go after Arch.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do if Arch is out there and he does well? Like, so Texas is the preseason #1. We could talk about that with college football. If that were to come to fruition and Arch is the #1 quarterback, what do you do if you're a team that doesn't need a quarterback and you have him? Do you?
You trade that for?
Friggin'
Oh my
trade
God!
Yeah.
I mean, you're set for life. I mean, you're going to get 4 first-round draft choices for that guy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
You can turn your franchise around in one draft.
absolutely.
I want to take now.
Hey, it could be us. We might be the ones making that decision.
I don't think we will. I actually think with Carter, I just think we're in too good of a spot right now. We'll get into this when we get into predictions probably next week or the week after, but I feel good about this Giants team so far.
Yeah, but your schedule is friggin' brutal.
It is brutal.
But
Really
I'll
bad.
tell you, I'll tell you this now. This was almost one of my pet peeves. Strength of schedule going into a season has one of the worst correlations to what actually happens in the regular season. And that's because it's all based on last year. And we've all seen that kind of move. And we're going to get a question from Peacock about this right after this next one. So the next one is, who's the former Jet or Giant, coach or player, that would make a good president?
The dick.
There's a easy one for me. It's Bill Parcells, man. He'd be a great president. Yeah. Can you imagine getting him into the media, get him into that White House briefing room?
See, I went a little bit different on this one. I was thinking to myself, guy I'd love to see as president, and he wouldn't have been flashy. He wouldn't have been, doing a whole lot. But Harry Carson.
Art Carson, he's distinguished.
Distinguished.
Yeah, the distinguished Harry Carson. I can see it.
Definitely distinguished for sure. I'm going to go way out of line for no other reason and just one. How about just Jeremy Shockey? Have him running around in the White House.
That's probably
God
the most
knows what-
realistic.
Yeah.
That's probably the most realistic one.
He'd probably
go
get
with
the most
Shockey.
votes, Shockey be like, hey,
Yeah.
free beer for everyone.
Yeah.
Beer.
Or get Tiki Barber out there. He's cheating on his wife. He's practically a politician anyway. Let
Exactly.
Tiki do it.
He's got the smile of a politician, Barber.
Yeah.
Barber, I could definitely see. I'm being serious. I would say Curtis Martin.
Oh, Curtis Martin's a great one.
Yeah.
Little too subdued to get votes, though. People, hey,
He's just cool. I mean, I think he's intelligent, well-spoken. I think Curtis Martin would be my guy.
I think about Curtis Martin a lot because there's a lot of times people are brought up as, who do you think of as the top this guy or the top that guy? And I always thought Curtis Martin was a great running back. But you'll hear people talk about Emmitt Smith. You'll hear talk about, other running backs. And I'm like, no one, I never see Curtis Martin any more mentioned in that way. And I'll tell you what, if Curtis Martin played for Dallas, he would have had more yards than Emmitt Smith. I guarantee you.
I think there's a lot of players who, if they played for Dallas during that time, they would have had more yards.
Certainly.
Definitely.
But Curtis Martin is certainly one of them. And you're right, Scott. His name doesn't get mentioned enough with the all-time great running backs. And it's because he was never a self-promoter. He was not a flashy, he didn't score touchdowns and point at his nameplate and find a camera. He just scored and went back to the bench and waited for the next time. It really is a shame how we as a society and as a sports group and family overlook people because of that. They should be lifted up if they're like that, not hidden.
When I think about like underrated running backs, I'll tell you a guy who comes to mind too. He's a Giant. Brandon Jacobs. The guy was a monster.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He's a monster. He would dominate in any era that he played in, and he just happened to be on those Giant teams. He did very well. I'm not saying he didn't do well, but no one ever says, "Oh, Giant." Brandon Jacobs was a great Giant or anything like that. And the guy's just he led those teams a lot of times,
Yeah.
Him
He
and
picked them up on their
Bradshaw.
shoulders in a lot of those games. That
tell you
hit
one
he
of-
delivered on Charles Woodson in
I
the
was just gonna
first
s-
play. Oh my
Again,
God.
you just stole the
Sorry,
words.
Chris.
No, it's fine, man. I was gonna say one of my favorite plays, one of my all-time favorite plays from Jacobs was a 4-yard run,
Yeah.
where he just absolutely just steamrolled Charles Woodson in that NFC Championship game, the freezer bowl or whatever.
About that.
And you saw Woodson was shell shocked the rest of that game.
Yeah.
He admitted it in when they did the documentary in that game. You watched that game. Woodson was out of it after that.
Yeah.
He basically his whole body was concussed after that.
Yeah. He said I had no interest in tackling him again.
No.
In that game.
By the way, I might run into Jacobs one of these days because his son is an incoming freshman at Clemson and is 3 inches and I think 40 pounds heavier than him. He's an offensive
Really?
lineman.
Oh, okay.
Offensive
make
lineman.
sense.
I think he's like 6'7", 300, whatever. So yeah.
Imagine Jacobs behind the '90s Cowboys line.
Oh
I
Jesus.
mean, you could, Derrick Henry behind that line. Just you think there's so many running backs you put behind that line. You think of the damage that they could have done. Imagine Jacobs trying to get tackled by safeties the whole game.
So Peacock's last question is the surprise team from those that missed the playoffs last year that will make the playoffs this year. So this is sort of getting to what we were talking about just a second ago.
I got to go back to my Bible here and take a look.
So I'll go just if you guys are looking it up. I actually really like this year the Atlanta Falcons. I do.
I'm not a Falcons fan. I don't believe in Penix. If Kirk Cousins is a quarterback, I think that's a possibility. That team, just to me, I think they're running into the Buccaneers and the Panthers.
That division sucks ass.
It does suck ass.
So the Buccaneers, I've never been a believer in them. The Saints, we just all agreed, are horrible, and the Panthers are the Panthers. I mean, they were pretty good. Bijan Robinson, I think, is probably the best offensive player in the league, pretty much. So, no, I like the Falcons. That's my team.
I would go. The Bengals were the first team that came to my mind, just because of Burrow.
That's true.
I know their defense is. I don't know. There's supposedly what little I know about the Bengals defense, but that's. I think they're supposed to be a little bit suspect in that area. But for what it's worth, I know there's. Again, this has maybe nothing to do with it, but they ended last year on a 5-game winning streak, so they kind of caught fire at the end of the year last year. And Cincinnati's one of those teams that just. I don't know. You have a quarterback is the caliber of Burrow. You're already you're in the playoff mix, I think, all year if that guy stays healthy. So
Good one. That's a good one.
I'll just go with Cincinnati for that, just for the reason of Burrow alone in that offense.
I'm going with the reasoning Novak had, and that the division I think is shitty, but I think the Jaguars are going to bounce back. I hope we don't hear Duval too much, but
Duval.
Dubai.
I do think the Jaguars with Travis Hunter, I think Lawrence is healthy. I think they're going to be a team to reckon with in that league, in that division.
Yeah.
I will take some low-hanging fruit because literally the only reason this team wasn't in the playoffs last year was because of injuries, and that's the 49ers. I think the 49ers.
That's a good one, Mike. Yeah, I thought about that too.
That is a good one.
That was what I was going to take. And realistically, the only questions I have about the 49ers are who's going to be their quarterback. Is Purdy the guy? Yeah, I'm still not sold on Purdy,
No, I'm not either. But I think they're so good in most other slots that
40, I agree. The only thing I would say about the 49ers, are they that team that's kind of like hanging on to the little bit of that window being open? And are they about
very well be.
to go the other side of the hill, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Trent Williams and McCaffrey are getting up there in age. Debo Samuel's gone. Kittle's getting old.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with you, but that's the only other. That's the opposite. Point. To the 49ers.
I think both things could be true because I think San Francisco thinks they're still in the open window, and I really think that this year will tell us whether they are or not, because all the points you make, Novak, are spot on, and I could see that going either way. That team to me is just, they've got a lot of talent, and they're solid they're deep. Not deep enough to overcome the injuries they had last year, but that was like giant level of injuries that team sustained last year. And it was always to a highly contributing player. And then by the end of the year, they were on their 6th running back or something last year.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick one, my first choice was Cincinnati, but I didn't want to step on Cardone again, which I've done this whole entire podcast. So.
Hey, that's all right, man. That happens.
The one guy I'm really interested in seeing this year is Kittle, because people are talking about Kittle as if he's a top tight end, and I keep thinking he's getting up there in age. So is age catching up with him? Because he's had a couple years with injuries, and I just don't know how well he's going to perform. But it's a really good question, Mike. I was going to go with the Niners too, and I thought same as you did, sort of low hanging fruit, and I am still one of those guys, and I don't know why, because if he was on my team, I'd love him. I still don't know about Purdy.
Yeah.
Purdy's a Daniel Jones to me. He's right in that same. He is not immune from criticism for whatever reason. Just like Daniel Jones, not immune from criticism. Other quarterbacks in this league completely immune from criticism. And I think his own fans are starting to turn on him a little bit. And, I think it's a shame because he was a great story, right? The last pick of the draft or whatever. And then he comes in and he plays never spectacularly, but really, really well. Solid starter play. Gets a bigger contract, has some injuries happen. Of course, fans and media tend to ignore injuries when they're evaluating teams and people. They completely ignore injuries. And so now he's got to go out and prove himself again. But we'll see. But I like the kid. That's, but you're allowed to go on Twitter or on ESPN if you want, laugh at him. He's one of the guys that's not protected for whatever reason. You can't.
You guys got anything else tonight?
I wanted to bring up one thing, Scott, you touched on earlier, and then I said I was going to touch on it, and I think we both stayed away from it out of respect for each other, like if we were going to do it. But that's the ramifications of the 70-yard field goal that the Jaguars kicker kicked. And I think we're both going to go to the same place. I immediately started thinking about, okay, we're starting at the 35. We got kickers kicking 70-yard field goals. They're only getting better. They're all, how long until we're are we getting to the point? And to Novak's point, it was good from 75.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't even have to cross midfield to score now. And, there's more of these guys. There's more of these guys in college. The kicker that Michigan has out there is bombing things right now. This is coming. And for years, they've gotten more accurate. Cardone's been on this for years, that these guys just don't fucking miss anymore. There's no drama. When they go up there, nobody misses. And then now not only are they not missing, but now they're making them from 70.
Well, and I think that's what I heard too. I mean, I heard the chatter I heard. It was like, we need to narrow the goalposts. And I keep thinking to myself, guys, you start fucking with the geometry of the game, and that's never good. I will take a good kicker any day and just deal with those consequences, because how many times are you going to try a 70-yard field goal? You're going to do it at the end of a calf or end of a game. That's it.
Well, if I have this guy, what are you talking? I mean, if I'm down by 9 and I've got this guy in the fourth quarter, I get to midfield, kick a field goal, onside kick, recover it, kick a field goal from right there, back in the game, baby.
Well, now,
but you got to make it still. That's one of those things. But I get you, Mike. I mean, that's where I was heading. Where I was heading is that 70-yard field goal in preseason started talk about, we need to make rule changes. We need to make them now. We need to
that might
narrow
be a little extreme.
We need to narrow the goalposts. That kind of stuff started talking.
Yeah,
I can't stand
the rules
that.
need to be
jerk
just
reaction.
Please just go back to normal kickoffs and touchbacks at the 20.
Yeah,
just let us play football again.
Now the refs can get the Chiefs to win with a kick into the end zone at the 35, 3 bullshit holding calls, like 50, they kick a 70-yarder and they win with 1 second left. I mean,
See, I know you guys I've mentioned this on the podcast before, and I've been routinely mocked, but there's a Disney movie from the 70s called Gus, the field goal kicking mule. and he can kick 100-yarders, and his team won the Super Bowl because he can do that. So it's a cautionary tale.
Cautionary tale.
And they even kidnapped the mule on the day of the Super Bowl, but he got loose and came and won the game.
I just hate that. What, for like 40 years, that half-footed kicker was like the greatest sports trivia question ever, and it's just shot to shit because that guy, what was that, 64 yards? Tom Dempsey.
63.
Well, it's the same as 61 in baseball, Maris, right?
Yeah.
That stood for decades, and then it just got obliterated for different reasons and whatnot, But
Yeah.
But it's true. I don't know why those kinds of records. I hate seeing those broken. I don't know why.
I do
like
too,
it's just I'm
especially
too
the
much
one-
of a yeah.
Well, the ones especially that stood the test of time forever. I mean, I remember watching that guy, and like it was in like the 60s, and it felt like it was from the 20s for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's never going to be broken, and it was.
No, you didn't think, because the guy had a half foot, right? So
Yeah.
you're thinking,
That was the
what
greatest
a
part about
gigantic,
it.
what a gigantic advantage. The guy's
Yeah.
got like a club on his foot. No one's going to be able to do that again. Yeah. There should have been an asterisk by it from the start. There's a half-foot record and a full-foot record. There should have been.
He had half an arm too. That's the other
I didn't
thing.
know that.
Yes, he did.
See, you never know where this pod's going to go. We started off with pole
know.
vaulting and ended with a half-footed kicker.
We should There should be all kinds of asterisk or separate columns in the all-time records book, guys with less than 10 fingers all-time most sacks, JPP. It's like this with 9 sacks with 8 fingers, something like that. Just have it all.
I actually think Tom Dempsey did come under some fire because people were saying having a flat foot there when he kicked it, it was advantageous. So he shouldn't have had the record, but I don't know.
And you know what's funny about Dempsey? Name another highlight of this guy ever kicking a football in the rest of your life, except that one kick.
Yeah.
There's not one game
Not
where
one.
he kicked a game-winning field goal in fucking September from 29 yards or something. You never saw anything outside of this one kick from this guy. How can that be?
That's it. That's the only thing he ever did. And he
guy
did
never
it
kicked it,
exactly like super toe, Cardone. Head down, straight leg. just super toed that thing.
But it's almost as if he's for his career, he's 1 for 1. That's it from 63.
And we all 4 of us knew his name immediately as soon as without even no thought, no anything. Tom Dempsey.
I mean, I got to imagine on his tombstone, if he's dead, which I'm imagining he is, it says 64-yarder, half-footed guy, right? I mean,
This is the guy you saw who they modeled Super Toe after.
I don't know if he's dead. He might be. You might be right.
That's a
actually,
good dead or
Novak.
alive.
I think he is. I actually do
gotta
think he
be.
is.
Hey, that's not a bad idea for trivia on the live pod. Like we do a
Dead or
dead
alive.
or alive section. Former NFL players and coaches and whomever, could be anything. Owners, dead or alive.
that's actually a really good one.
50-50 chance. I tell you what, if we're struggling giving stuff away, we just have to do. We just got to do a dead or alive. It's a 50-50 chance.
I like it.
Just go out there and swing it. So
Yeah.
Tom Dempsey, just so you guys know,
Yeah, I think
Was
he is
one-
dead.
159 out of 258 on field goals for his career.
No,
What? Are you kidding?
No,
That was horrible.
159. And
he
he's
probably made 7 Pro Bowls too with those stats.
By
he's-
the way,
then.
is he dead, Mike?
He is. Yeah.
died of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2020.
recently died.
No, not that
Yeah.
long ago.
He was 252 for 282 career on extra points. He missed
30
30
extra
career
points.
extra points
I mean,
in a.
he missed 100 field goals. I mean, that's insane.
He missed
He played 8 full seasons and missed 30 extra points
And 100 field goals.
and 100 field goals.
I'm going
But
to
in our
sound
minds, he's
offensive.
the greatest of all time.
I'm going to offend somebody probably with this, but his foot is so perfectly sliced in half. It looks like it was photoshopped. It looked like half his foot was photoshopped right out of the picture. It's I didn't realize it was that flat. If you took a carpenter's level to this thing, that bubble would be right in the middle. It'd be perfect.
It looks like a sledgehammer.
It did. I'm looking at images of Tom. And by the way, is he missing part of his hand too? Or
Yes,
is my,
I said
he
that.
is.
He
Yes,
misses
yes.
part of his arm.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have his whole arm.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't know that.
And he like his
That's why he
form
wasn't a
was
receiver.
like his form was like what your form would be if you were 7 years old kicking field goals in your backyard. Both arms straight out to the side, like he's trying to fly. It's just hammering that thing like super toe.
He's got the 12-year. He's got the Rydell face mask with the little twin bar that we had when we were 12 years old. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no different than the little microphone thing that's extending from my headset
Right.
here. That's like
If
we're,
that-
that's like
if
we're
that went
wearing a
all the way
face mask
around.
from 1967 right now.
If that went all the way around, it would be
Yeah.
a face mask.
So guys, come out and see us, Carolina Beer Temple, September 2nd, 7 to 8:30 live show. We're going to do a couple more pods before then. We're going to finish out the preseason, but September 2nd we'll be there.
Gonna be a lot
Can't
of fun.
wait.
Everybody show up.
Should be a lot of fun.
I can't wait for the Snoopy Bowl.
Snoopy Bowl, get ready to roll.
Good luck, guys. Take it
Have a
easy.
good one, guys.